or term in. I can't recall what that means.
We are live. Contender.
Peace, everyone.
Let me see.
How's everyone doing?
Peace, 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 everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Mayat TV DMV. Today is Thursday, September 14th, 2023. And we've been out for a week, but we are all back. Give thanks that we're all back, healthy, happy, and ready to learn. Abdullah, how are you?
Good, good, good. You had the lecture in West Virginia last week.
Oh yeah, how was it?
Turnout, but we had good numbers online. Had great numbers online, but
Oh, good.
low turnout, but it was good experience. You had great numbers online.
Well, tell us some more. Tell us about what happened and what you were talking about.
Well,
Briefly.
it was at the European shrine, the Kadim, but Benny Kadim Shrine Temple, which is in West Charleston, West Virginia, and so we met Europeans there. That was, but they were not in the audience. So we had some technical difficulties, so they came to us to assist. Yeah, so it was a wonderful Indian restaurant there, one of the best Indian food I ever had.
Yummy.
Yes, so that was a good experience there. But it was good. I said the numbers were great online. Got 700 views on my Facebook page. I went Facebook Live, and then we also had the YouTube Live. I was streaming from 3 different YouTube pages. The Moroccan Post Media YouTube page, streamed from there, and almost 500 views from there. So good views online, and almost 700 views on my Facebook page.
Oh, that's wonderful. So those who didn't see it, they can go on your Facebook page.
Yeah, they go on the Facebook page, or they can go on the YouTube page, because you'll actually see the PowerPoint on the YouTube page, Moroccan Post Media YouTube page. You'll see the PowerPoint, but on my Facebook page, you won't see the PowerPoint.
Okay.
Yeah, it didn't show them because it's just coming from my Facebook page. But on the YouTube page, they had the PowerPoint inside the just like you do it. That's the same way.
Okay. We're gonna wait and see if more people are gonna come in before we.
Yeah, before absolutely.
Yes.
I know we had the brother Isa made his transition.
Yes, he made his transition. We're gonna do a 5-minute meditation when we get at least 10 people in, so we can have the energy to send him off, and so he can see, because he's just in another realm, but he can see us if he chooses to. And so with that, we would want our family to do the same thing for us if we transition.
Absolutely.
So we'll wait for a couple more people to come on so that we can have the energy needed. Okay, we got 3 people so far. Yeah, it's been a lot going on the past 2 weeks, a lot of fires and floods and Morocco. You see what happened in Morocco. It's just so much.
Are you the Kingdom of Morocco? Was also Hawaii, the Kingdom of Hawaii, right? And Kingdom of Morocco, yep.
And Libya.
Yes, Libya.
So how was your drive to West Virginia?
Oh, did you good? We
was
actually
it country there, or modern, or
the weather?
No, the community. Does it look like it's more country?
No, it wasn't. It was no. The humidity was low. It was good weather. It was good weather that the whole time we were there.
No, I mean the community. Is it?
Oh, you talking about the community?
Cows and horses.
That's a retirement community.
Oh.
I didn't know that. That's a retirement community.
Okay.
And I'm like, West Virginia? People go to West Virginia. I was like, people go to West Virginia. I could see Florida, but West Virginia, Miami. I mean, West Virginia, there's nothing there.
Really?
I mean, as far as retire, like you would retire, like as if you would retire to West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what would you do? Like, I was like, wow, people. He's like in Charleston, West Virginia. That's like
Oh,
people.
Charleston. That's where the I think the casino is in Charleston.
It is. I
Hmm.
don't know. I
Yeah.
mean, he
It
told
is.
the brother told their brother Derek said people retire there. I say, wow. So,
Wow. Okay.
all right.
Oh, we have 12 people on.
Well, people.
That's enough.
All right, you
So
want to get started with the meditation?
definitely, we're gonna
Um,
try to do the singing bowl first. I'm gonna light
mhm. Yes.
a little teeny piece of sage, and then before we do the meditation, let's just I wanted to show something because I don't know if everybody knew that Issa was like a jack of many trades while he was in the physical entertainer.
You was
Uh,
part of your brother's group.
well, after that, he was part of another group called
Hmm.
the Pump Blenders,
All right.
and they put something on, but I wanted to show a real short clip
All
uh,
right.
of Issa performing, and this step that is you're going to see is what Issa taught the group. So you can just see that he's such an entertainer, and I mean
Mhm.
several times he also was teaching as well. On him. Let me see. Can you see?
Oh, not yet.
You can't see it? Okay.
Nothing's up. Oh, it's coming up.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
there it is. He's the one in the black shirt and gray pants in the middle.
So that was just a short clip of him performing. And so at this time, we're just going to do a 5-minute meditation. I'm going to. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. We're going to try the singing bowl. And, so if everybody can just close your eyes and try to look out of your third eye and just be in silence and just be in remembrance. I believe, my beliefs don't have anything to do with everybody else, that when you cross over, you know, um, you realize at some point that you have crossed over and you can really see your life and you have control, total control over your own destiny and what your next step is. So I know Issa is close by, and I'm wondering who he's going to visit first. I believe I know out of the group who he's probably going to visit. But let's just
Mhm.
wish him a peaceful journey as he has made gotten his wings. We are thinking of you, Issa, and we are wishing you a peaceful journey. And we are remembering the times that you were here with us, whether they were arguments or in love and happiness, or
Mhm.
discrepancies. Um, my hands are sweating, so my singing bowl is not going the way I want. But we're going to just do 5 minutes of quiet and listening and thinking and looking through our third eye. Just practice our breathing. Ashe, Ashe, rise in power, Brother Isa, rise in power. We got 15 people. That's really good. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. One other thing I wanted to mention before you start, Abdullah, I was looking at Lamont's case, and it looks as though he was sentenced to 405 days from December 20th, 2022. So the judge, I think it was Judge West that he had. And so apparently he's still in, but if you do the math from, no, I'm sorry, from November 13th, 2022
Mhm.
to present. So if you do the math from 405 days, you can kind of figure out when he's expected to come home. But
Yeah.
I did see when I looked it up that he pled nolo contendere, Contendere. And it's a Latin word. It really means I'm not pleading guilty or I'm not participating. Really, I'm not doing anything. Contendere is the word nolo contendere. So it says nolo contendere is a legal term that comes from the Latin phrase for I do not wish to contend. It is also referred to as a plea of no contest or no defense, is what it means and what was used in Maryland, which is where he was. I also looked up his co-defendant's case, and it appears that he was sentenced to, let me get this right, 15 years, all suspended, but I think, what was it? All suspended, but 10? Something crazy. Yeah, and I'll find it before the show is over. But I did want to just give an update on that because I know the last time we
Mhm.
brought him up, we didn't have all the facts.
You
So
have all the yes.
they are both co-defendants. So I'm not really. He pled not guilty though. his co-defendant. He pled not guilty, and Lamont pled nolo contendere. So I don't know if that had anything to do with why he was sentenced to more, because it was the same charge, which was carrying a gun. Lamont was carrying a gun as an ex-felon or as a felon. Okay. So if anyone has any other information regarding that, you can definitely put it in the chat. But I just wanted to bring that up. And then last, let's just give energy to a lot of these wildfires that's happening all over the world right now, and these floods that are going on. It's just really a lot happening, and we have to be in remembrance of remembering so many people who have lost their lives in these fires and all these different things. I don't know if you all remember me putting the sister up on the screen some weeks ago. She was missing in Maryland, a Muslim sister. They found her body. A European neighbor of hers chopped her body up. And I don't know why her energy was on me that day. I don't even know her. But, we just have to be women. We have to be careful when we're out, because, we just do. I'm not saying the men don't, but really the women, we really have to be more careful and vigilant, and we have to know how to protect ourselves. We really do. This guy is currently in jail, and why he did that, I don't know. He looks very evil, or whatever. And then they had this KKK rally in Florida a couple of weeks ago. So it's a lot going on. We have to maintain and study, but we also have to understand the climate and what's really happening around the world. It's a lot going on. So everybody just stay safe, and just look out for each other. Call your neighbors once in a while. Look out for women who are single with children by themselves. And, let's just try to keep our sanity amongst the chaos that's happening. All right. That's all. So then we can move to the quiz. So I guess, Abdullah, you can read the question, and then if everybody can put their answer in the chat, I guess that would be the best way.
Yes.
Okay.
This is a review quiz for the 3-part series. The United States courts have the lawful treaty authority to hear Moorish cases. Question number 1. What clause in the United States Constitution establishes consular courts? What clause in the United States Constitution establishes consular courts? Put your answer in the chat. Type your answer in. What clause in the United States Constitution establishes consular courts?
BD Bay says none.
All right, none. Any other answer? Somebody else? So we have none as one of the answers, as a suggested answer. All right. Anyone else?
It's 22 people on.
More now. Do they agree? Just put agreed in. Do you agree with the answer none?
Someone said Article 2.
Article 2. The person who put Article 2, look up consular court.
Someone said Article 2, Section 2.
Article 2, Section 2. Look up consular court. Google consular court. Google consular court. We actually read the definition and how it's established. We actually read the definition and how it's established. And in the definition, it it established. Look up consular court, so you don't have to say Abdullah said anything. How's it? All right, let's move on. So the answer is no, none. All right.
Okay,
Consular
BD
court,
Bay.
consular court is established by treaty. So there's no article in the United States Constitution that establishes consular court. All right. So let me explain the concept then. When you're talking about consular court, that is extraterritoriality consular jurisdiction. So to say that Article 2, Section 2 of the United States Constitution establishes consular court would be analogous to saying that Najma can establish, Najma has a constitution that governs her house. And in Najma drafts in her constitution a clause to establish consular court in Japan or France or England. She can't do that. I mean, Najma cannot draft in her own constitution that governs her own house an article that establishes consular court in Japan or France. Like she can't, she needs France's permission. Or like Najma cannot establish a consular court in France or another jurisdiction. She can't draft an article in her own constitution because the consular court is for consular court is a court whereby your nationals are in a foreign jurisdiction. I mean, consular court is not a court that deals with like a consul. A consul does not represent his or her citizens in his or her own jurisdiction or country. A consul is a foreign official. A consul is a foreign official. So a consul represents his or her nationals in a foreign jurisdiction and or country. So if you're talking about a consular court, that would not be this. That has to be agreed upon. So it's established by treaty. So Najma and I would negotiate a treaty, and she and I would agree. She would agree, right, to allow me to set up a consular court in her house, and that the laws of my house, all right, governs, my daughter went to visit Najma. The laws of my house governs my daughter, while my daughter is in Najma's house. Like Najma's laws don't govern my daughter. Najma's laws will not govern my daughter while my daughter is in Najma's house. All right. So that's called extraterritorial consular jurisdiction. And then part of embodied in extraterritorial is consular courts, because now you're gonna the laws, so that would be my laws, the laws of my house extends to Najma's house. All right. Only for my daughter, And then if something happens, then she had the consular court. So it's understanding what consular court is and how it's established by treaty. So no country has a clause that establishes consular court in their constitution. No country, no constitution on this planet has a clause that establishes consular courts. It's established by treaty. It's knowing, understanding what consular court is, extraterritoriality, extraterritorial consular jurisdiction, or compensatory jurisdiction. All right. Any questions? On the supporttheconstitution.com. Supporttheconstitution.com. That's Lamont and them. They have on there Moorish consular court is an Article 3 court. I mean, Article 3 court, Article 3 of the United States Constitution. A Moorish consular court is an Article 3. That's a big misunderstanding. Consular courts are established by treaty. Treaty of Peace and Friendship was established before the United States Constitution. The Treaty of Peace and Friendship was drafted, signed, and by Muhammad ibn Abdullah in June 1786. It was ratified in August or July of 1787 by United States Constitution, United States Congress Assembly. So before the signing of the United States Constitution, the United States and Congress Assembly ratified the Treaty of Peace and Friendship. So there was no Article 3. There was no Article 3 because it was still being drafted. It was still being drafted and had not been signed nor ratified when the Treaty of Peace and Friendship had been ratified by the United States and Congress Assembly. It was ratified in July 1787. I'm going to say this, Sister Najma. Education is needed, much needed. We cannot move forward as a people. We cannot advance. We cannot do anything as far as advancement politically, economically, without education.
I agree.
Our condition, we're in this condition as a people because of lack of education. Meaning, it's because of conquest, yes, but it's being maintained. The maintenance, let me give the proper. The maintenance of European conquest and colonization and subjugation is because of our ignorance. They're maintaining because of our ignorance. Massive ignorance. We're not going to get out of this without education. 25 years. 25 years. Most of my adult life, I was trapped in misconception. I could have had, if I had this knowledge 15 years ago, my God, because I deal with a lot of people. I've always dealt with a lot of people, even going back to college. I mean, this is not new for me. As far as dealing with people, that's not new. You know, president of my fraternity. I mean, secretary of my fraternity. Co-founder of the national NAACP in my college. president of my sociology club, connecting with different people. So I've always connected with people. So, but being able to connect with people and give them proper concepts, which I'm now doing to advance, makes a world of a difference. And so education is paramount, proper concepts. So we'll move to the next one. Page, I don't want to, Shim should be joining us. I'll call him. If he doesn't join us within 10 minutes, I'll call him. Because I did talk to him earlier.
Okay.
No. Why can some treaty cases be heard? Why can some treaty cases be heard in the United States District Court and the United States Supreme Court? I would not give a question for which I did not provide an answer. Why can some treaty cases be heard in the United States District Court and the United States Supreme Court? Well, question 1 indicates why why some cases cannot be heard. So Article 1 addresses Article 1. I mean, question 1. Question 1. We know that there are some treaty cases that cannot be heard in the United States courts. Why? Because of extraterritoriality clauses. Remember that the Japanese thesis 1893, and it is about that we read as part of this part 3 and part of the 3-part series of the United States courts have lawful treaty authority to hear Moorish cases, and then there is treaty between United States and Persia, United States treaty between United States and Siam, and the extraterritoriality clauses. It says only the Siam consul, or United States consul. So why can some cases not be heard? Because of the extraterritoriality clause. But why can some cases be heard? Just think the opposite. Just think the converse. Why can some cases be heard in the United States courts? So treaty cases. Why can some treaty cases be heard? Let's go to this. Go to the contract. Just follow me, y'all. Go to the contract. The treaty's the contract. What does the treaty read? Is there extraterritoriality or compensatory clause? If there isn't, then the case can be heard. All right, so it's Article 3, Section 2. All right, the type of cases that can be heard. Article 3, Section 2, United States Constitution. But if there's an extraterritoriality clause, it cannot be heard because only the consul has that. Meaning that the Morocco did not. We did not grant United States courts to hear Moorish cases. That's done through like treaty. So yes is number 2. Yes is number 2. So Hauenstein versus Lynham. Hauenstein versus Lynham. Ware versus Hilton. Society versus New Haven. Hauenstein had purchased 3 properties in Virginia. He transitioned his relative, brought forth the case. Virginia sold the 3 properties and kept the proceeds. Virginia sold the 3 properties and kept the proceeds. So his relatives sued to recover the proceeds. What was first had to be first determined? Howenstein's status. They had to know what law applied. What law are we going to apply based on his what? Status. And how this they had been determined that Howenstein had never renounced his allegiance to Switzerland. So therefore, Howenstein protection falls under that 1850 1850 treaty between the Swiss Confederation and the United States. Article 5 of that treaty protects Howenstein as well as a United States citizen in Switzerland, because this also applies to United States citizens in Switzerland. All right, right to recover sales from the proceeds from the sales of property. Article 5 of that treaty. So that treaty, not the United States Constitution, not the United States Constitution. So that treaty would be that law of the land, meaning applying to all the states. Virginia tried to play tough guy. We ain't got it, I'm no treaty, you know what I mean? And the United States Supreme Court made it very clear in the case, of Article 6 of the United States Constitution to Supremacy Clause. And the United States Supreme Court made it very clear in the case, and they deliberated with clarity about the power of treaty. So there's no extraterritoriality clause in there. So Article 3, Section 2, then Clause 4, a foreign state, a citizen of a foreign state, Howenstein, and the state. So you have Virginia, right? State versus so you got a foreign state, citizen of a foreign state. That's what? Howenstein. So Howenstein was a citizen, was never a United States citizen, even though he had purchased 3 properties. So he was a citizen of a foreign state. He had never renounced his allegiance. So this is, key. We're going to really get into this in these other questions, really take our time with this understanding, because I really want to get into, as we get into the other questions, nationality and diplomatic protection. Najma.
Yes.
I really don't think the conscious Moors understand nationality. They don't understand nationality. I know they're Moors. I know they can say they're Moors. I know that. That's not what I'm talking about. They don't understand the political application of nationality. We have to. I want to tip my fez, and I'll wrap my turban to Shem Malachi Bey, because it's because of him that my knowledge of the political application of nationality has expanded exponentially. We must grow into that knowledge of the political application of nationality. It's a weakness in this Moorish movement on the political application of nationality. It's a weakness that we must strengthen. All right, number 3. Why can some treaty cases... All right, before I read that, I'm gonna call Shem, because he should be on now. Hold on.
WW, you said Dr. David Imhotep passed. I don't know. I don't know who he is, but homage to Dr. David Imhotep. Okay. Dr. David Imhotep is the first person to hold a PhD with a specialization in ancient African history.
Take care of a few things after this player. All right, we'll continue. It's because I like when he also because Shim adds tremendous value too. Right, so continue here. Why can some treaty cases not be heard? Why can some treaty cases not be heard in United States District Court and the United States Supreme Court? Why can some cases not be heard in the United States District Court and the United States Supreme Court? Anyone? Why can some cases not be heard? You got answers? Any answers? Let's see if they're paying attention. Any answers? Why can some treaty cases not be heard in the United States? No answers? Number two, why can some cases be heard? Why can some cases be heard? Number three, why can some treaty cases be heard?
Someone said no jurisdiction.
All right, based on what? They have no jurisdiction based on what? It's not, we got to get no jurisdiction based on what?
Someone said no extraterritorial clause in the treaty.
No, that means no, that it has an extraterritorial clause. If there's none, then they have jurisdiction to hear the case. If there's no extraterritorial clause, then they have jurisdiction to hear the case. What doesn't give them the jurisdiction is the extraterritoriality clause. I think let's clear this up. What the extraterritoriality clause doesn't give them jurisdiction because it gives the jurisdiction to what? The treaty gives the jurisdiction to who? And the extraterritoriality clause. Who has the jurisdiction to hear the case? In extraterritoriality. Consular. Nah, I said it. Consular jurisdiction. Consul. A consul. The consul has the jurisdiction to hear the case. In extraterritoriality. Hashem's calling.
I'm reading in the chat. Someone said, Jabir, according to treaty and international law, the U.S. cannot deny Moors anything. Someone said, the local land governing permits for foreigners' cases to be heard. I guess that's the answer to one of the questions. Someone said, Jabir, I would not use the word subject. I would use the word adhere. And the answer is ancient law. And somebody said the local land governing permits for foreigners' cases to be heard. Someone said, I am a Moor under the protection of Morocco. I am not a citizen. Look that up in Black's Law Dictionary. And then someone said they get around the treaty by getting one to waive their rights on contracts. And someone said customs is ancient law. Shim.
Yeah, Abdul forgot to send me a link. He never sent me a link. I just got it.
Peace,
Abdul,
peace.
please, he never sent me a link, Abdul.
There he is.
Please, how you doing? How you doing,
You
Matriarch? Yeah.
Yeah, I sent them the link. Hey, Shim, put some light on the situation. Put some light on, bro. Got to put some light on.
All right.
Yeah, we can't do that.
Based
All right.
on what is stipulated in the treaty with respect to the supreme law of the land.
Shim, I 2 weeks ago, I submitted a quiz, and we're reviewing the quiz now.
Okay.
Well, question 4. Question 4, Shim. Question 4 of this quiz. What article and section in the United States Constitution express what types of cases can be heard in the United States courts? That's not for you, Shim.
Okay.
In the chat, type your answer in. What article and section in the United States Constitution? Now, you had said something, Naz, before I go back. You had read something while I was.
Yeah, I was reading the comments in the chat.
What was the one of the comments? I heard something about.
There's a lot of comments.
Yeah, but you had read something 3 minutes ago, about 3 minutes ago, about the Moors. They can't do something because of the Moors, or something like that.
I read, I'm a Moor under the protection of Morocco. I'm not a citizen. Look that up in the Black's Law Dictionary. That.
All right, let me address that. We're not under the protection of Morocco. Let me address it. We're not. And I have this. Shall we have to? I know we have. I gotta do it. I cannot fake the funk. We're not under the protection of Morocco. You can raise the flag all you want. You can say that all you want. We're under subjugation. We have to be real. Our mother is in the hospital. We're not under the protection of Morocco. The native people of Hawaii This Shem, we got to clear this up, brother. We got to. The native people of Hawaii are not under the protection of Hawaiian sovereignty. The United States subjugated Hawaii in 1893. They put the Queen of Hawaii, of the Kingdom of Hawaii, under house arrest in her own palace. The United States later annexed Hawaii. The native people of Hawaii are not under protection of the Hawaiian sovereignty. They're not under, they're subjugated. That's called in international law, subjugation of a nation, in this case, a kingdom. We're not under protection of Morocco. We're subjugated. Shem, please help me, brother. Please. We got to get this right so that as long as we stay there, then we're not going to seek to restore it, because we think the problem is the misconceptions. You got conscious Moors who are making a claim that they got a national Moorish government. You got conscious Moors who's make the claim that they got a state, as if we recovered our lost Moorish sovereignty. So they're fixing those who really don't understand international law. We're under conquest and colonization. We have not recovered our lost Moorish sovereignty. We're not under protection. You can raise the Moorish flag all day long, every day, all day long. You can raise it and raise it all day long. If 1,000 tomorrow, 1,000 native people of Hawaii raise the Kingdom of Hawaii's flag in front of the palace tomorrow, what does that mean? They're just protesting. They're not protected under that flag. I mean, they're raising it, but that's not a political raising. They're just protesting. I mean, but they're not protected under subjugation. We have to be clear that we're still under subjugation and conquest. We're still under Spanish, French, Dutch, Portuguese, English conquest and subjugation. We're faking the funk. We gotta be real with the people. We're faking the funk. You got conscious Moors who are what does it mean to be protected? Shem, please give us what does it look like to be protected under the Moorish flag? They said, be protected under the Moorish flag. Give us in detail. Give us in detail.
You have
and you would use examples of other nations throughout the world. You can use examples of other nations throughout the world. What does it look like, Shem, to be protected under the Moorish flag?
Let me judge the thing about the subjugation of the people. First of all, that was a coup. He overthrew the monarchy and put in place a democracy government against the wishes of the people, and took her and put her under arrest. I mean, she went under detention. They seized the throne through a coup, meaning that it took and put together a democracy government and did away with the legitimate monarchy that the people wish to have. Once they did that, that's called a coup, overthrow the government. Now, what they did was
talking about Kingdom of Hawaii.
Kingdom of Hawaii. The next step is Hawaii had what you call a parliament to hear the matters of the people. They had elections for their parliament. Now they don't have no more elections anymore. What happened was They forced them under apartheid and genocide to elect to have election process under a coup government. So they don't have no elections now of the people. They don't have no parliament. They don't have a national constitution to enforce their rights. Nothing set up. There's nothing. There's no military. There's no police. There's no marshals. There's nothing. All they got is apartheid government running everything in their country. So Hawaii had to resort back to sovereignty. What you mean, Shim? Hawaii have to get together people, decide to have an election, to have what you call a revolutionary war on paper through language. File on language their claims, their status, come together among themselves, form a constitution, and then they take and join the family of nations. And then once they get there, they have the ambassador file a resolution to remove the Hawaii before the Hague, a particular application to be heard before the Hague, had to become a member state to remove the United States apartheid coup government that took over the Hawaii national government. That's how it had to be done. Now, why I say that, Shim? And Venezuela had the same problem. Venezuela had a problem where the United States brought somebody over there and tried to overthrow the legitimate president that was elected. They resist them, so they file an application because Venezuela is a member state of the United Nations because they're family of nations. They filed a resolution condemning that. The next thing they did, they filed an application, passed a resolution that went to The Hague. The Hague went back and read the Constitution of Venezuela and said that in the Constitution, it does not for no other government to come in and change, elect any public officials unless it's done by the people. That's how it's done. So look at every country in the world. Every country in the world got a legislative branch, they got elections, they got an ambassador, they got a police, they got all these offices set up, agencies set up to run. Even the political jurisdictional territory where you at place, I call it what? I call it location. Where you at? They got the same setup. Elections, public meetings, open forum meetings, open forum discussions on how they pass and legislated law, open forum debates, open forums, committees, interview investigations. All this stuff is being done right in front of our face. So when you say I'm going to Texas and Morocco, this is what I have to say. Right now, if I go to France and want to become a permanent citizen of France, hear me out. You say that Morocco, we already now. What happens when I go with France? If something happens, the United States sends over a council to protect me. That's my protector, the country. What you mean, Shim? I have an agency that I can contact to the council office, international affairs, and do all my paperwork so I have dual citizenship or be naturalized there. I fill the application, any documents that they need, they come from the government agency under the seal of that government. We don't have that. We have not come together, unified as a body of people, and come together as provincial governments to one national government, sign a treaty, and we assert the power that the Sultan has, that monarchy. The people assert that power and do a proclamation, declaration of independence.
Five people. We only need 5 people, man. You only need 5 people to force. I'm not exaggerating. So when I'm not exaggerating, I'm not making it up. So when I speak, I don't make up. I'm not making up. I'm not making up when I say this. Yes, we have. We don't need 5 people. You don't need 5 people. See, we got the green card. See, we got the green card. We got a stage. See, Shimon Abdullah, I'm not making it up now. Remember, I'm not making anything up. Shimon Abdullah don't know what they're talking about. You only need 5 people. You only need 5 people out of 20 million. You only need 5 people out of 20 million to form a state. You know what I mean? See, we got our green card. See, we send our green card into United Nations, and then we got, you know, we don't tell nobody. We use United States post office. We use United States post office, and we got our green card. All right. See, Shimon Abdullah don't know what they're talking about. Remember, I'm not making none of this up. Go ahead, Shim.
Well, I'm gonna say this right here. We got to come together as provincial governments and at different provinces, and we got to sign a treaty among ourselves. from our different houses. We form a tribe, to form our society, our community, come together, sign a treaty among ourselves, come to one convention, to form a representative in the convention, to sign, to form an imperial parliament council, to sign a constitution among ourselves, take that constitution, rest it with the international body, to have our delegate authority of the international affairs to go to the United Nations and deposit that, so we become a member of a family of nations. Now, what just happened there? Post-millennium. I just talk about post-millennium right now. I'm restoring lost sovereignty that we lost. Once out of the international community knows that, hey, listen, we are the people to exercise the right, assert the right as if we the monarchy ourselves under a Republican form government, as we the people to assert the power that the Sultan once had to govern our land, our water. Now become a family and nation. Anybody got to dispute with that or protest against that, all we got to do is file an application with the Hague and say, what legs do you have to stand on to protest that? You have no legs. You can't interfere with our right to self-determine. You protesting can be self-determined. The reason why you protest is because you guys are apartheid and culture genocide. So you can't protest when you got conquest over us. This is how we got to remove the conquest. Once we remove the conquest, now we got protection now, because now we got an ambassador, we got a head of state, we have the Department of International Affairs that do all our documents, got government relationship, notifying them what we're doing. So all our national, we doing commerce, according to the treaty, we can notify them with the proper form, the proper format, the proper representation, the proper number on the website, the proper information center to go to verify the documents. This is called government-to-government relationship. This is called reparations. This is real reparations we talk about now here, because what happened here now, when you want reparation for the damage they done, you say, wait a minute. You go to the Hague and say, we got a problem here. In order to get our government kickstart to help our people out, so they're homeless, they got diseases and stuff, we need the United States to give us a portion as a line of credit, their prosperity of what the corporations that got electric companies, corporations got bus terminals here, train terminals, making all this money, the toll bridge revenue, all that becomes our credit. Our debt now returns to a credit now in favor of the government. This all can be done by doing the proper channels as a government. Now you're protected as Morocco now, because you got what? International rights and determination among yourself, and you get notice. You serve the whole world of your notice, your proclamation of declaration, and your application who you are, and the Constitution. They're giving the whole world. That's like filing a complaint against all the nations of the world and say, this is who we are. You got a problem with that? Now they have to answer that complaint. Every nation will have to look at that complaint and answer that complaint. Those who have a problem with it will run right before the Hague and they'll lose. They will lose. You know what they're doing? They're telling you that you have the right to self-determine, but they got the right to self-determine. So they lost right there. So this is a step in the process. Now, if you mail a constitution before the United Nations, that's not done right. That's not the protocol. It said representatives of the government with proper ID, reflect that government must come there and make a deposit. Mailing something is not the proper channel, because that's against the protocol that the UN got set up.
Thank you, brother. I mean, this guy, man, Shem is one of the tops that I don't, man, as far as political science, man, Shem is, brother, thank you. I've learned a great deal from you, Shem. And I thank you for your will to share this with our people, brother. You made 4.5 years ago, I said to you that I want to help you. And you have not disappointed. You have taken your time, your intellectual property, and you shared it. All right? And I greatly appreciate you, brother. Greatly appreciate you.
See, there's a lot of things that we can do. See, there won't be nobody getting arrested. That's unheard of. A consul being arrested by a government, a de facto government corporation, arresting a consul. You know why that happens? Because we're not set up right. Because they know when they research, they know you're not protected by Morocco. They know that. That's why they come after you and lock you up. Because they know when they lock you up, it's all about bonds. You got nobody come against you. They know that. They understand that from the door. They understand that because they know automatically if a council give notice. See, first of all, we must understand the Senate as a committee. The Senate formed a special committee of senators that created the Commission on Foreign Relations. Now watch this.
Committee on Foreign Relations. Yes.
That Committee on Foreign Relations give definitions. They, as a matter of fact, they are the one is the creator of the Federal Code of Regulations.
Yes.
See, yes. The Commission on Foreign Relations comes first. Now, what happens is when it comes to any kind of foreign nation with treaty, Congress already set down laws. Not just the Removal Act, they also passed codes and statutes and rules and regulations to govern a foreign matter of international law. So when a council steps in, the council get notice of council jurisdiction, notifies the courts, and that the case is removed to the council jurisdiction based on a treaty. That means the lower courts can't be remanded back down because they don't have jurisdiction. Neither can the federal courts assert jurisdiction because they know the treaty matter. So what they do is they refer to the council matter. So the main first thing happened, the feds closed the case. When the case get removed from the feds to that council court, the feds close the case. Why? Because it's no longer open in the federal system. It's open in your jurisdiction now. You have the right now to litigate that case now. So that's why Michael Bay and Brother Zachariah was able to get their case terminated by the federal courts because they took and filed a petition and notice in their court, and they gave it a case number, did a notice and moved it to the federal court and removed it from the federal court to their court. So the court had no jurisdiction to say, you know what, we closed the case. That means now the state can no longer remand that case because it's closed. It's out of the jurisdiction now. So see, everything comes through protocol, procedure, processes. And the problem is we be getting the wrong concepts. And what happened is, I want to say this, the moment you go to the United States court, because remember, you're not a person, you're not flesh and blood. You are a trust. Hear me out. I'm gonna teach you trust law tonight. Whoever listening. When you go in there, you are not the trustee of your own trust. You know that? The United States is the trustee of your trust. Therefore, the states got jurisdiction over you because the states is your personal representative and guardian because you are considered a deceased, a lunatic, a special needy person. I mean, in other words, you're like a mentally retarded person. You're supposed to be doing nothing. That's why you got advocate, a personal representative, appointed attorney. He's the officer of the state. He's appointed as a personal representative over your state. What you mean? Your body was attached to it in your trust, your constructed trust. So you go in the courtroom and say, at the courts, to file a petition, at the courts to do something for you, the first thing the court looking at you saying, they ain't gonna tell you on the rules of secrecy, he must not know what's going on. He's not a trustee over this trust. Who's the protector over this trust? We are, United States. That's why the Social Security Administration the United States got 7 trustees appointed by the United States Congress and by the president over your Social Security account. So you haven't terminated these trustees. So how you gonna go and represent the trust and you're not even a trustee? That's why they put you in jail. Because you know you ain't got no protector to come and get you. You don't have a counsel that can usurp counsel's jurisdiction and remove the case. They know this. That's why they lock you up, put you in jail.
We got some ways to go, man. This Shim, I want to thank you again, bro. And that's why I wanted you on here, because I know you can you add tremendous value. It's needed. And like I said, we're developing. There's people who are growing with this knowledge. And we just gotta continue, continue to hammer it. Continue to hammer it. You know. And it's the increase in knowledge and proper concepts is going to make the change. It's going to make the change, man.
I'm gonna give a sample. Here's a more driving a car. I'm in Morocco. You right? You are. But at the same time, you on a show. What you mean, Shem? Your land got joists. It got asphalt, concrete, steel beams, rods, built and connected to the land. So therefore, you on your land, but you also on an enclave. I mean, a structure that belongs to the United States. Therefore, while you're on that bridge, or while you're on that freeway, you are in the United States political jurisdiction. So therefore, you gotta use the treaty to protect yourself. What do you mean, Shem? Your government supposed to already have the proper paperwork filled out with Homeland Security, the proper a paperwork of your status, put in the Department of Immigration of your Moorish status.
Hey, Shem, are you eating something?
Go ahead, Abdullah.
Are you eating something?
I'm done. I'm snacking something. I'm done.
No, Shem, I don't want you to choke. It's not. I don't want you to choke.
Okay, so I'm done.
Just hear me out, please, brother. While you're talking, don't put something in your mouth, brother, because you can choke. You can choke. Well, you're talking, so you don't want to put. Just wait till you finish talking, and then eat. Don't put something in your mouth while you're talking, because you can choke. And it's really the choking. The choking is my concern.
Okay.
Right?
So what we got here.
I can hear it.
Okay. When we got here. Oh man. What we got here is that we have been government been domiciled for so long and not activate. So now what we doing is now we bring the creature back to life. Our mother went into a coma. Now our mother got to be nourished, brought out of that unconscious state that she into post-millennium. Once that happened now, the government will become the protective. What you mean, Shem? When you go buy a car, you send it off to your provincial Moorish government. They give you the paperwork, issue your tax, and send the paperwork over to the Homeland Security for the United States, that's the Department of National Affairs, that you will be exercising your Moorish right on their infrastructure. The structure, which is with the political structure is that the roadways, the bridges. You go inside of Dunkin' Donuts, that's United States political jurisdiction. Because it goes out courthouse, anywhere you go. On that street, when you ride down the street, you got concrete, beams, asphalt, or attached to Moorish land. That's the erection, like a bridge. You cross that land to travel. Therefore, you need to be protected by treaty. So you have to have a proper.
Shem, let me provide more clarity with that, Shem.
Yes.
All right. Let me provide more clarity. All right. With Shem is talking conquest, but I'm gonna provide more clarity with this. United States came about to exercise territorial jurisdiction by treaty. All right. You have the 1783. I'm gonna provide clarity with what Shem is talking about. We're gonna talk conquest. We're talking conquest and colonization. The England took over from the Dutch, and New Jersey, parts of, and New York. England took over from the Dutch. They didn't sign a treaty with the Dutch. All right, and they simply took over, and then that with so now what England did. All right, I'll have to go more detail so that you can understand what Shem is talking about. Because I understand what Shem is talking about, but I'm going to provide great details with this. England set up colonies on our land along the Atlantic seacoast. The 13 English colonies. In the charters, you have royal charters, proprietary charters, and company charters. In the charters, you have the surveys. All right, New Jersey is we had the survey or the boundaries are in the charters. So that is what through that survey, they are as a territorial jurisdiction. United States and also Great Britain, France, and set in the 1650s. From the 1650s to 1763, France exercised territorial sovereignty on the conquest now, on the conquest and French colonization of our land. France surveyed what they call Canada, the Northwest Territory, and the Louisiana Territory. All right, on our land. So that's a fiction or a survey, a French survey of our land. All right, and they have a survey map, Louisiana Territory. All right, French. You'll have the Northwest Territory. All right, so in 1763, the treaty between France and Great Britain. France ceded Canada and the Northwest Territory to Great Britain. In 1762, through the Treaty of Fontainebleau, France ceded the Louisiana Territory on the conquest, I'm talking about conquest and colonization, to Spain. All right? So this is what the United States is operating on. I'm being very specific now. We've got to identify what's going on. So in 1783, Article 1 of the definitive peace treaty between Great Britain and the United States, His Britannic Majesty relinquished to the 13 states. So the 13 states are assuming rights under the 13 English colony charters. What I mean by that is New York State is assuming territorial jurisdiction, all right, of the boundaries that's in New York colony charter. That's what the United States is operating on. They're operating on those treaties. So the United States is claiming a claim. Let me make my point clear. People versus Godfrey. People versus Godfrey. GEOFFREY. I'm giving details of what Shim is talking about. 1819. People versus Godfrey. 1819, that's the New York State Supreme Court case. Let me explain the case so you can understand the concept of what I'm talking about. An Army soldier killed an Army soldier who was a prisoner on the way to the barrack. He killed the Army soldier with the bayonet. Now, the issue was raised. Who has territorial jurisdiction? Who has jurisdiction over the case? The United States claimed to have jurisdiction because it was a military base. New York State claimed to have jurisdiction because of where the base is. Remember, in Article 1 of the Definitive Peace Treaty, His Britannic Majesty relinquished not to the United States, but to the 13 states. So New York State was the one that was relinquished and had rights to assume under the charter, not the United States. And in that case, the 1783 treaty did not relinquish any territorial rights to the United States, but to New York State. So New York State had jurisdiction over the case. So New York State has territorial jurisdiction as a result of the 1783 Treaty of Paris. So the United States is claiming the rights under those treaties because those Spain, France will have the treaty, the Louisiana Purchase Treaty of 1803 with the United States. So United States was ceded that land. We're talking conquest now. We're talking conquest and colonization. We're talking United States. On what basis is the United States claiming to have territorial jurisdiction over the land through those treaties with France, Spain, and Great Britain? So this is what Shim is talking about. They have survey maps, East Jersey, West Jersey. These are survey maps. So these are on the conquest and colonization of our land. They have survey maps. This is what the United States is operate on. So yes, we're on our land. Yes, this is our land. Yes, this is our land. But it's under conquest and sub-colonization. That's what the United States is operating on. United States created 15 states in the Louisiana Territory. That's the French zone. The French zone from 1654 to 1762 when they ceded it to Spain. Then Spain took over. And Spain retroceded it to France in 1801 and ceded it to the United States in 1803. So the United States created 15 states. And the reason why France ceded it to the United States is because of the war, the Haitian War. It caused debt. Because of the Haitian War, France needed a huge cash flow. That's why it's called the Louisiana Purchase, because they needed a huge cash flow because of the war they were with and with the Haitians in the 1780s and 1790s. So France ceded it, sold it to United States because they needed a huge cash flow. And United States in turn, created 15 states. That's what they're operating on. They're making it. Once again, New York State and that People versus Godfrey made the claim that they have rights, jurisdiction over the case because of the 1783 Treaty of Paris. They will run to that treaty. They will run to those treaties because that's the basis of their claim. The basis of their claim, we're talking conquest and colonization. The basis of their claim to operate in the territory is those treaties with France, Spain, and Great Britain. So yes, we're on our land. We're riding on our land. All right. We have to understand how they're operating. It's conquest. These conscious Moors really think that conquest and subjugation of land ended. They really don't know what time it is. They really think that United States is a trustee. Hear me out. I'm going to break it down. United States is a trustee by virtue of the treaties with Spain. United States is a trustee for the personal rights, for the Spanish land grants, for the English letters of patent and English land grants, for the French land grants. The United States is a trustee by virtue of the treaties and the law of nations. So United States, through the treaty with Great Britain in 1783, through the treaty with Spain, 1819 treaty, through the treaty with France, 1803, United States is obligated through the treaty to oversee and protect the personal interests of those Spanish land grants, French land grants. Are you aware that French law, French civil law, is applied in the United States courts in Louisiana? French civil law. Why, Abdullah? Why French civil law? Because there was a large amount of letters of patent that the French king granted a large amount of letters of patent. So they didn't want to interrupt that. And it was based under French civil law. So any attorney, and I did, you know what? I remember over 33 years ago, I was a junior in college, undergrad. My fraternity brother, he got accepted in a college in Louisiana for law school. And I remember Bill Myers saying to James, he says, oh, French law. So you have to learn French civil law if you go to law school in Louisiana. He says French law was applied there. You're gonna learn French law. And I didn't understand it. Of course, I understand it now. That's why. We have to be real. United States is an extension. United States is an extension or a continuation of Spanish, French, English colonization, because the land grants and letters of patent that the Spanish crown granted in the 16 and 1700s are still the United States is obligated to protect and oversee that. When United States of Mexico was the overseer or trustee of the Spanish land grants in Colorado and New Mexico and Nevada and California. But when the United States entered a treaty with Mexico, Guadalupe Treaty, 1854, United States became the trustee. So United States took over the trusteeship of Mexico through that treaty. So the United States now became obligated under international law and through that Treaty of Guadalupe to oversee the affairs of the Spanish land grant in Colorado and California and New Mexico and Oklahoma. United States now became that. It's under conquest and colonization. So these conscious Moors are acting. They don't know what the United States is. They don't know what the United States is. United States is a continuation of conquest and subjugation of land. I wanted to be very detailed. I know exactly where shit was going. It's important that we're detailed and know what they operate on those treaties. That's how did the United States come about controlling, having territorial over the land? Through those treaties. That's how. It's still conquest and civilization. And United States, the conscious Moors is just thinking that Spanish, French, and English colonization, and the colonization ended. How did it end? United States is a product of that.
And another thing, Abdullah, sometimes I realize, Abdullah, that they can't get past the fact that what's happening on their land. And I'm gonna give them a scenario. I got a big 4-acre factory building, right? I leased the building out. Hear me out. The building's not owned by me. The building was I was allowed to lease the building. Therefore, the building's not owned by me. Therefore, I signed the lease over to somebody else. And watch this. When I sign a lease over to somebody else, they come in there and start putting up structure. The floors are cement. They put down ceramic tile floors. They put down new walls, new ceilings. Now, by law, I own the building, but I can only go by what the owner agreed to with the first lease. So the lease was assigned. So the new assignee only go by the first lease was a treaty. Whether that treaty delegate, that's the law. That's the law in that political jurisdiction. So we have to understand is that we know this is our land. The building got one owner. Excuse me, it does. But when somebody come in and put new floors down, when you go through that building now, at the son or daughter, the heir of the owner of the property, there have been certain stipulations that be agreed upon in agreement when you're going through that building, because now you're walking on new floors, you got new lights, a new system set up in there. You don't own none of that. You own the building, the structure, the land. So this is why they have treaties. Very important. I'm using some natural illustration so you can know what's going on your land. On your land, you got bridges. On your land, you got asphalt. You got cement. You got steel beams. You got rods, all on your land, laid down there hard. Once it forms a structure. From that, you're doing amnesty now. Amnesty law, maritime contracts. So by the treaties protect you that while they build these structures, infrastructures on your land, the treaties protect you when you go to one of the infrastructures or you travel on one of the infrastructures. The treaty protects your what? Your national right. It
don't matter because we are the heirs of the land. I'm not making it up. I'm not making nothing up now. I'm not making nothing up. It doesn't matter. We're the heirs of the land. You know what I mean? Forget those treaties. Forget the treaty. Forget the 1783 Treaty of Paris. Forget that. We're the heirs of the land, man. Colonization over. Colonization over because we say it is. We're the heirs of the land. All right. So where's your military then? Where's your military?
I said that before. That's right. You declare war now.
They said colonization. They say. I'm not making it up. That colonization over, the Spanish land grants are ended. The French land grants and none of letter patent, none of that means nothing now because the Moors are back in the house. Yeah, we are back in the house. Yeah, we got a stake now. The Moors, I'm not making nothing up. Please, y'all. I'm not making anything up. How can we advance when we're not being real? Like, I'm not making this up. I've heard, I'm not going to say the person's name. The person talked to me and said this. I'm not going to say the person's name. I'm not making it up.
Well, I say this right here. We are in a war. I'm gonna say this right here. The war is fought intellectually. The Europeans overthrew our people intellectually, not to war. The Moors never lost a war. They lost to intellectual warfare. What you mean? The Abdullah explained language. They created fiction planes, fiction territories. See, we have to understand that the Moorish treaties was made to protect you. It was made to protect all the indigenous that was living in this continent right here we at. Everybody was a Moor. What you mean Moor subject, Moroccan subject, and native Moor? Meaning that you was conquered by the Sultan. Yes, get it right. The first conquest was the Sultan. Yes, the Sultan of Morocco. The Sultan came over here and conquered Morocco with Mohammedanism. Yes, he did. The people that want to hear that conquered the whole world with Mohammedanism. So we got to stop playing. The Pope first. The Pope first. After the Sultan defeated the Pope, the Roman Pope, the Sultan took over all the spoils of the Roman Empire. This is why the Sultan, the Moors are all over in Spain and Ireland. Why do you think they was there ruling? See, and then they came here, where we at, it's called Moab. Yes, Moab, Israel, all these over here, and conquered this place too. So the first conquest was the Sultan. See, we don't talk about this right here. Yes, the Sultans conquered the Moors, had them under conquest. That's why they're called Moor subjects, Moroccan subjects, yes. But what he did was
the Ottoman dynasty too.
Yeah, yes, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Because they were the war.
We have
right.
two, Moroccan Empire and the Ottoman Empire.
What's the modern day Turkey? What's modern day Turkey right now?
Modern day Turkey, the Treaty of Lausanne. The treaty what ended the Moroccan, and that's up. I think, by the way, that's up next year. The Treaty of Lausanne. The Treaty of Lausanne in 1919 that broke up the Ottoman Empire. It's called the Treaty of Lausanne, and that was in 1919. And I think that's up next year, I believe.
And as a matter of fact, thinking about Abdullah, the Ottoman Empire entered treaty. See, the Moors under the Ottoman Empire entered treaty United States in 1868. I think Lincoln signed that treaty. Do you know that treaty protects you too? The Ottoman Empire Treaty, you got protection of that treaty too. That's the last treaty the United States signed with a Moorish power. The treaty with the Ottoman Empire. Yes, that Moorish Empire. Look it up. If you don't have it, I get Abdul to get it to you. Read that treaty. You got protection of that treaty too. 1968, that was signed by Abraham Lincoln and ratified by the Congress.
18,
yes. And ratified.
Okay,
1860. I'm not sure. I think it was 68.
Not 68, because Lincoln had already been assassinated.
Yeah. What year was that? 60. It was 60 something. Just before assassination. Somewhere around there.
Yeah,
I get it to Abdullah, so get it to anybody who wants it. That treaty protects your rights too with the United States. That's the last treaty the United States signed with a Moorish power. That treaty, yes. And the one 1856 was signed by Great Britain, but Great Britain made it clear that anyone in their political jurisdiction and dominion by treaty or conquest, I mean, that treaty, the force against the Lord Proprietors, the chartered companies, the chartered trusts, all the charters that was given to the Lord Proprietors and the United States be the treaty signing, that treaty, the Moor Treaty, is forced against all of them under the jurisdiction of the crown. So what we have to do is look, see, we have to govern. The government have to be standing because, like the Supreme Court say, it's upon the government to enforce the treaty. If a government is not standing, how can you enforce the treaty? No one individual. I'm gonna say this right. Once again, I'm gonna say it again. There's nothing in history. Only one time when the Sun-Dry Act Moors went to the legislative bureau, not the courts, went to the legislative bureau and enforced the treaty and said the treaty is already signed by the United States. Therefore, you obligated to protect our rights. The legislative bureau of South Carolina signed the Moors Sun-Dry Act. That's the only time in history we've seen something like that. But watch this. But what they rely on, not the United States Constitution, they say the treaty. They say the United States is in a treaty with a foreign prince that we under. So when you read this right here, why are you going to the Constitution? They ain't going to the Constitution. They forged the treaty. And guess what? They did not go to courts either. They did not go to a court. They went to the ones that had the legislative power, who had power to make law. See, the key thing is that the law was already made. But when the United States and Congress signed that treaty with the delegates of the Majesty of Morocco, that was legislative law. But the treaty is self-determined, but it got to be enforced by a legitimate lawful government. We haven't had one. Now we're going to have one soon. So once that happens, it's called government-to-government relationship. That's all it is. There's no argument, no guns being shot. All about obedience to the law. Believe me, the Europeans all follow the law to some extent. Only thing about it, we say, oh, they're going to ignore it. They don't listen to nothing. No, they're not listening. They know who you are. You nobody until you come together and there's something to prove to them. Prove to them who you are. Because they prove to us who they are. They got officers out here. Let me show you something. All the man got to do, walk up to somebody and say, I'm special agent FBI and show a badge and ID. All the man, everybody respect that. Give the man the highest respect. Why? Because it's already a presumption. I take that anybody walking around with lawful credentials of a government and show the ID and the badge and the credentials, he's operating on government actions, government affairs. That's a presumption. Assumption and presumption. We, on the other hand, keep saying, oh, they don't never listen. Okay, why they don't listen to you? You in the courtroom trying to make the judge get jurisdiction to hear your case, and the judge telling you, he won't tell you this, I can't hear your case because I'm not the counsel. You can't come and force the treaty in my courtroom. The treaty is self-determined. Self-determined means you cannot go around what's determined in that treaty. It's res judicata.
Self-executed.
Self-executed. You cannot get around a treaty because the treaty is res judicata. You are collateral estoppel for going to the courtroom trying to get a judge to make a ruling. Because you make a treaty, it doesn't affect when you do that.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions?
You provide great value, man. That's why one of them on here. Wow, these
comments in the chat.
These questions are now anticlimactic. Well, we had to address these points though. That question though, because that statement rather, that I'm protected under Morocco. Yeah.
Any questions?
It sounds good though, but we got to be real though, because you can't just that's a false sense of security. It's a false sense of security.
Oh yeah, that's some more question, Abdullah. If somebody tries to rob you or take you or kidnap you, whether code enforcement officer,
they're gonna call the state cop. You already know what they're gonna do.
Okay. Why? Because
we already know they're gonna do. They're gonna somebody break in their house. That one who made the statement. Somebody made the statement. Somebody break in the house. Then somebody break in the house, rob the car. Somebody steals the car. It's car right here's their car right now. They're gonna call what? They're gonna call whatever city they in. That city police department. No, let's be real. I mean, that's not. You're not because you're not gonna. I'm not saying I'm not gonna be playing. We can't. You don't have time to play
that's
like
right.
that.
That's right. You know why? No, you gonna call them because they got a sitting government, a sitting government that's up and running. That's why you call them. Why you don't call the Mukdi police and have them coming up?
Because we're not protecting on Morocco. That's why.
Abdul, I'm going to ask the question. I know you know, Abdul. You have the answer. I'm just asking the question. I want them to figure it out. I know you know, Abdul. Come on now. I know you know.
No, I know. You got. Let me apologize to everybody. Just give me 30 seconds to apologize. I'm being sincere. So hear me out, please. Just hear me out, y'all. It's because of the 25 years of misconception. I taught misconceptions to thousands of people. No, I'm serious, y'all. I taught for 25 years. Most of my adult life. Misconceptions to thousands of people. So I apologize that I seem to be abrupt at times. It's because of that. And I've seen people get beat up over the head. 30 years of observation. I want to help move this movement along. And misconceptions has inhibited my growth and the growth of this movement. So I will apologize, and I'm just giving you why I am the way I am. Go ahead, Tim.
Yes. Abdullah, I'm gonna tell you something. We are in a serious time now. I'm gonna say this to all those conscious boards. We do not have a chance. They have not have no room for any kind of mistake now because they right now what's happening in Africa is making these people nervous over here. Please hear me out. Africa, when they see Africa act this way and we waking up here, just hear me out, claiming who we are, that's the greatest threat in the world because this place been under siege and conquest more than anywhere in the part of the earth. Nowhere in the earth has ever been a people under conquest like the Moors here over here. Yes, we are. We the most more genocide, apartheid facing people in the whole world. Since a man and woman been on the planet, no people have ever been on subjugation and conquest like we have been. This is why it's very serious. So please respect the culture. Respect the seers. You know good and well that we are not operating as a government right now because we ain't got our subjugation. You ain't got claim of your own body. You talk about this your country. You ain't got control of your body. Your body's on a piece of paper in a maritime contract sitting in a private vault in the World Monetary Bank and Nevada Bank. You on a piece of paper. And if you think I'm playing, I got a UCC1 tell you the UCC1 that Abdullah said. All the people here in North America, Northwest Africa, right here, is put on a UCC1 financial statement as a debtor. All real men with hands, arms, and legs. That's what the description of the property say. Real men, women, children with arms and legs. It said all the land, territory the United States are occupying. The first United States and the bankrupt United States. So what that tell you? We don't have time to play no games. They don't turn around and hop our bodies. I'm gonna say what that means. They can come and snatch these people up anytime they want and put them on a ship. A 3-story ship, like a building, travel all through the sea. People looking to you where you at. You on a ship, hostage, you can't get off. Giving 3 meals in the cot. Why? Because they consider you as being a threat. And why you like that? Because there's no national government that can make any kind of amnesty claim for you at all. No government, no council. No council can make a claim where you at, how to free you, anything. There's no standing government to help you. That's why it's very crucial. Y'all think that you're helping, you're not helping us out. I'm going to tell you the truth. I told Abdul, our people problem is we always want to rule each other, take control. So first of all, you can't rule nothing because you can't rule your woman. You can't protect your own woman, matriarch. You can't protect your matriarch. So until you protect your woman, you can't do nothing. We became a bunch of cowards, not us. Because I understand it now I appreciate a woman, the matriarch. You can't protect your matriarch. Shut up. You can't stay married to one woman, raise your children. What you talking about?
All the boys, speak that truth.
Oh, man.
Yes. Ashe, for real.
All y'all men want to do, excuse me, y'all masculine, what y'all want to do is y'all want to rule your own people. You want to rule your own people, order them around, tell them what to do. When they'll fall in with you, you want them voting, you want them having elections, you want to be assaulting, you want to be an emperor, have a gang of body. Yeah, because y'all did this back in the 60s. Every Moor's come in power. First thing he want to do is beat his brother up, cut his brother head off, smack the woman, knock the woman around, terrorize them. And at the end, he wound up in jail. You wound up in jail, and the people become a federal informant. Y'all so-called sellouts. All y'all did with the bad conception keep going on. Y'all want to help y'all people. Y'all just excuse me. Y'all string on the guitar. You just strike the string and you play a note. You playing a sound. That's all you is. You just string on the guitar.
He's
I love my people.
Today.
I'm keeping real, brother. Any questions? Any questions? You have any questions?
Like you scared everybody away, man.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Oh no, you didn't scare. Look, it needs to be said. I'm glad you said it. I'm glad you said it because nobody is saying it. It's a lot of comments in the chat. Lots. So I don't know if you want me to start reading them or if
Yes, yes,
yes, Doctor.
Woo. Okay. I'm just going to read. Contract makes the law. U.S. denied Moors the contract of nationality. Someone else said they have a system of chattel bondage. Someone else said, Jabir, according to treaty and international law, the U.S. cannot deny Moors anything. Another person said all vessels in commerce have a nationality. Someone said, can you prove you are a citizen of any government? No extraterritoriality clause is treaty, someone said. He wrote we was talking about the person who transitioned. He wrote the book called The First Americans Were African. Is this why we see so much human trafficking? Will you please?
Let me answer that. The first American was African. Let me straighten this out. First of all, the first American was not first African was not American. Americans did not come into existence until the European powers came together and decided the Berlin Conference in the 18th century to name the political jurisdictions. All the political jurisdictions of the crown came to one consolidatory incorporated territory plane. I said location, and they called it America. So you could not be an indigenous person and say my ancestors were here is the real Americans, because that did not exist. So we got to stop this. No, they were the original indigenous native Moors people here on the land. Say before the conquest parties renamed the continent America. Don't say they are the real America. They can't be, because they're Europeans. What I mean is that they're not part of the conquest of Europeans that came off a ship on the Moors. See, the Europeans are the Moors conquest first. They were born here. They won't teach this. See, they will teach it to their children. They were born here in the conquest. Yes, they was. The Europeans were born here in the conquest off the Moor ships and put in the Moors plantations. But why they won't teach this? Because they want to terrorize this. They want the sits to look down on them and look up to us. So the problem we teach the fake history in the school, and we are terrorizing the women, the children. First the women, because the women now believe this. So now she train her children to believe, to trust that, have confidence in that they came off a ship from another part of the world when it was already here, the scent of these people. Yet the Europeans would never teach that they came off a boat. They would say, well, we came in to the Spanish government, to the French. No, you didn't. Y'all came off on the conquest by the Sultan, off of ships as servitude and digital service. You went to Moors, you went on the Moors plantations, and the Moors grant you, and Europeans ransom for you to have freedom in that territory through treaties. See, they won't tell the truth about this. This got to be hid. And in the world, educated scholar, philosophy, he knows this, but he paid to sell out. He took an oath to keep his mouth shut on what I just said. That they came up a boat over here, Ireland, Irish, Dutch, all of the court on the high sea. Hundreds of thousands of Europeans brought here into the Moors territory and put on plantations, to work the plantations. And then the Moors married the women, yes, married the women, they have children. That's how the children got rights from the woman. See, the woman, when she come on the land, right? And the man goes inside a woman, see, he got certain rights from his mother. Hear me out. He got certain rights that come from his matriarch woman, mother. So when he have children, his children is on the land now to become part of the land. Yes, all these concubines the Moors had, European women concubines, Abions, had their children. Yep, the curse came back on them. This is the curse, the jinx. But guess what? They paid top dollar to keep this history, this information secret. Tell the truth. When you took the Moors, I'm talking about Moors now. When y'all Moors over on the other side of the world, Africa, over here, took your Moors woman and sold them in servitude for money, for reward, for commerce, the woman went over there and had children. The children came back with a vengeance against their government, against their people. Yes, you sold your matriarch and say your daughters. So the daughters and men, yeah, see, but we don't tell the truth. The Moors are selling people too. in servitude. Yes, the Moors were selling their own people in servitude on ships. The Moors. I'm gonna say it again. Some people don't like that. Yes, the Moors were selling their own people in servitude, women and children. Yes. So what you gonna say? Oh, no, stop crying. What did our people do? Now, do like they did. Come among themselves, form a community, and exercise government among themselves. That's what they did. They woke up. They said, wait, why should we have somebody tell us to do? Why don't we create our own constitution, come among ourselves, and have our own freedoms, our own liberties? They woke up. How they wake up? They went back and looked at earlier history. They looked back. Bird. They looked back and seeing how the people claim their sovereignty, be free from oppression, from apartheid, for cultural genocide. And they woke up, and the first thing they did went to the colleges, and they learned. Then they came back and taught their people. Then they set their own schools and taught their people, and took the information and revised it. They revised and modified information so they could remove the authority that we have and put it as if they had authority, and move us out of the continent as if they was already here and we came off ships. So you will never question how they got here. But they're gonna tell you came off a ship from the other side of the world, bullhead, and this is how you got here off a ship. And King, that's why King lost his life. King said the so-called Negro will put in servitude in his own land. Now I'm quoting King now.
He said that.
Yes, Martin King said the so-called Negro, hear me out. The so-called, what you mean, King? They're not really Negroes. That's why he said so-called. That's not the attribute. Then he said we're put in servitude. What you mean? We mean servitude, King, bondage. They're put in bondage in their own land. Any more questions? I just want to address that, straighten that out.
She gonna continue reading the statement. So quick.
Somebody said it's getting hot in her. Someone said the Ottoman Empire abrogated all European treaties in 1914. Morocco was never notified of the abrogation of European treaties because France, Great Britain, and U.S. refused to notify Morocco.
Well, first of all, at that time, Morocco was already under subjugation.
Hold on. Before we go on, can you present evidence to support that claim?
Afro-Sumare.
Yeah, present evidence. We don't do. We don't do make a claim and then go. No. We do evidence. We command support the claim.
And what year was it? What year was that?
1914.
Give us a source. Source.
Okay. Now let me say something.
Shem, don't rescue. Don't rescue.
No. I'm saying I want to see the document. That's at the time period. Where's the document at?
Yeah, we're not rescuing anybody. We're gonna get them opportunity. Give them opportunity.
Where's the document at?
Present in the chat. Give them. We're not rescuing anybody. Give them opportunity to put the evidence in the chat.
Okay.
We don't come on here. Somebody come on here and just make claims without our challenging them to present the evidence. I will always challenge someone to present evidence to support their claim. Always.
Go ahead.
And I expect you to do the same with me. Please challenge me. Challenge me too. I'm not above reproach. Challenge him too.
You know me, Abdullah. I love for somebody to challenge me, Abdullah. I take a street corner and knock their brains out with it. Lift the whole street corner up and knock their head off with it. I love it.
I'm not going to make a claim that I can't support. That's why I'm not going to make a claim I can't support. I'm not going to do it.
All right, you guys. Yeshua said, are you saying that because you are protected by treaty, all you have to do is a summary judgment proceeding?
Let me say something. How can you do a summary judgment proceeding and you're not a mukti or a council? That's for a council of mukti, according to the treaty. They can do that. Yes, they can do it according to the treaty. A mukti or a council can do it. Yes, that's the answer.
Okay.
That's the answer. I mean,
let me finish. And after they make that judgment, then they do a resolution. They enforce the judgment through the international court. What you mean, Shim? They do a resolution to force to all the member states that this nation is in violation of this article of the UN Charter, the Bill of Rights of the UN, in violation of the treaties and international agreements with this government, this board, the Moroccan government, and has been found in default of not answering the amount of $6 billion. Then they go to The Hague and force it in The Hague. Once The Hague agree, that becomes they go to the Department of International Commerce, the International Chamber of Commerce, to enforce the judgment. What that does, Shim, it puts a monetary lien on that nation as a sanction. So when they start doing export, import, getting money, when they start receiving money, do export, import, the International Monetary Fund will take that judgment you got and honor it as value. And you can take that, put a lien on that government, and you got value. Now, what that means, Shim, that means their dollar value, automatically you can draw off that judgment as a confessed judgment. Now it becomes a negotiable instrument to you. Now you can use it as leverage. As who are the sureties? The citizens of that state, of that government, now become the sureties of your government or your international monetary policy of value. So now you can enforce that judgment in your government by getting everything built, new buildings built. Yeah, you create capital. So that's the proper way it's done. I'm teaching them the proper way it's done. Hear me now. Because he may hear this, it got to be done through government. Next.
That's why I wanted him on here, Najma. That's why that's why I wanted him on here.
Okay, so you asked someone to bring facts after tomorrow.
Absolutely.
He said Office of U.S. Historian. It is documented.
What document? What document? What's the say the question? What did you say? Read the statement again.
Wait a minute. Let me find the question because I had to go down. The one who said the Ottoman Empire abrogated all European treaties in 1914. Morocco.
Stop right there. I'm gonna stop. I got it. You got it. See, you have to understand. Whatever treaty the Ottoman Empire entered into, that's the only treaty that they can revoke. That's the only treaty they can terminate. They cannot terminate no more treaties by Emperor Morocco, because it was not signed by a delegated team. The empire did not sign that treaty. Any treaty they entered into, yes, they can terminate that treaty, but they cannot terminate a treaty. It's like France. France cannot terminate no treaties that the British government signed. Neither can Ireland cancel a treaty that the Netherlands signed. Neither can the Netherlands cancel a treaty that the Irish people signed. The Dutch cannot cancel a treaty that the French signed. So you got to understand, no other government can cancel out other government treaties where the government have a say-so or a declaration clause, agreement allowing it to happen. I mean, their signature. It got to be a delegated team. They meet together and decide these treaties are no longer enforced. So the empire, the Ottoman Empire cannot cancel any treaties of Morocco. As a matter of fact, when that happens, right, that document automatically goes into United States treaty collection. So you can pull out, I got the whole treaty collection, all the treaties, and I listen to me in Yale, yeah. that would be there. There's nothing there like that. Let me explain what I mean, so to really understand. Do you know what would happen if the Moroccan Empire canceled all these treaties with the European powers? They can't be anymore. They ain't lawful. They can't exercise no jurisdiction in Morocco, period. Do you know they cannot exercise no jurisdiction? The Act of Morocco, 1880, do you know that was signed by the governments of the world, the same nations that's part of the UN? They signed the Act of Morocco, Act of Algiers. They signed that. That means they have the lawful authority in Morocco. That means the FAST Treaty is not, listen to me. That means the United States cannot bring any cargo ships in the port, these ports. That means we become a government, the national government of Morocco, we resurrect and awaken, we can pass a resolution and say, based on that document, they no longer do any business in Morocco. They're not going to do that. The European powers are not going to do that. And matter of fact, when you say Ottoman Empire, that's not Morocco. See, we got to stop playing now. When you say that's not Morocco, that's the Turkey Empire. That's Turkey. So if you said Turkey did that, what they got to do with us? They're all Moors. They're all melanated people. Visible pygmy, carbon skin. We know that. We know they're Moors, but they're two different powers. two different empires. So if that empire decides to terminate treaties they entered into, that can't stop the treaty signed by Morocco. So I'm gonna tell you what's happening. We started to turn to what you call going to battle against we the scholars. Now we started going battle with our own people because you know why? Because some people becoming angry now that the misconcepts can't be no longer followed. So what they do is they go and grab stuff, and now they try to throw it at you and try to throw a monkey wrench in what you're doing. Don't hurt your people like that.
You explained it so well. Wow.
See. I'm gonna tell you what you're doing. It's like you got a shotgun and you got somebody trying to kill you, and you turn around and say, "This shotgun don't work," and say, "Shoot it off," and blew your whole doggone leg off. What you hollering? You think it's nut right here? Ah! You hollering? I shot myself in the leg. You said the shotgun don't work. You got a shotgun. What you think the shotgun don't work? So what y'all doing is you grabbing ammunition and cripple yourself. You trying to hurt us, you hurt yourself. You ain't hurting us. You're not hurting us, you hurting yourself. Any more questions?
Oh my God.
All responses?
I gotta listen to this again, man. This is
Tim, you were on earlier where it's some comments on, and someone said they wanted your position on Lamont and George. Okay.
Yes.
Let me just read. Okay, in Lamont's case, right? He pleaded noli contendere.
Plead guilty and plead guilty. That's the same thing. This is a plea. This is a Latin word meaning you pleading guilty. Same thing. Use a Latin phrase. Noli contendere meaning you pleading guilty to the crimes. That's all specific crimes on the
it means that I will not contest it.
But that's still considered Abdul. That's still considered a plea bargain. It's still considered a plea.
Yeah.
But it's a plea. It's a plea. It's not a plea of guilty. It's not a plea of innocent. It's a plea of I go along with whatever you're doing. That's what it is. I've been through this before. See, when you in that courtroom and if you walk out with a sentence, any kind of sentence, that means that that means that you making a plea. See, once you make a plea before the bar, you're in the court jurisdiction. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that. Once you make a plea before the bar, you're in the court jurisdiction.
Okay. Lamont was sentenced to 405 days, but George was sentenced to 15 years, suspend all but 3 years. But they had the same charges, different judges.
They both have attorney.
It's listed as an attorney on there, but I don't. That doesn't mean anything because
Yes, it does.
No, you can fire your lawyer and it will still be listed on the paper.
I'm gonna say this right here. If you got an attorney listed on the paper, you fire your attorney. All that's going to show on the record. Attorney got ordered. Once you tell the attorney, I've been through this already in the criminal system. When I fired my lawyer, he was gone.
No, I'm telling you, I'm a paralegal in Maryland. You can fire your lawyer, but until you hire another lawyer, that lawyer that is on there is still going to be there. It doesn't mean that lawyer went to court with you because you can fire your lawyer at any time. Well, but in his case, it's still listing a lawyer. But I know for a fact that this lawyer did not represent him.
I'm gonna say this right here. He pleaded to the bar of the court. That's why the judge able to issue a sentence. See, when the judge don't have jurisdiction, the judge won't entertain nothing. See, this is what I'm saying. The fact of the matter that he pleaded guilty and the judge entered a sentence, he's before the court as a United States citizen.
But the sentence doesn't go with the charge. It doesn't. The sentence to me for Lamont, 405 days, doesn't correspond with his charge. But then when you look at George's case, it's the same. Why did George get 15 years and all 3?
That's the question.
George pled not guilty. George pled not guilty. Lamont pled noli.
I'm telling you what. Let me say something to you from my experience. When the deal they offer, see, once the court offer you a deal, right? This is how they get you. Once the court offer you a deal, right? Sometimes when you take the deal, you fall at the mercy of the court, and the courts give you a lenient. The other brother said, "No, I ain't taking the deal." That's a fight. He's fighting them. So therefore, he's not going along because this is all about money. It's all about judgments. He's not going along. So what they did for him not going along, for him not agreeing to nothing, they made it hard for him. Gave him 15 years.
Suspended.
No. Hold on, Chimp. The George plead guilty, right?
He pled not guilty.
I mean, not guilty. I'm sorry. George pled not guilty.
I mean, he had a trial. I mean,
It's no contest. Lamont played no contest or no local contenders.
That's still a guilty plea. That means if he pled not guilty, that means he went to trial. He got found guilty. That's why he got 15 years.
That's George.
Yes, George. Yes.
All right.
That's why Lamont went ahead with the plea. That's still a plea. Look it up in Black's Law. It tells you it's a plea.
I put it in the chat. I did. I put it in the chat.
Yes. So what happened was one person would not go along and would not go along with the brokering in the courtroom. All this is being brokered. This one would not go along with the broker. So the investors, the banker didn't like it. The judge, he didn't like it. So what the other brother did was before the banker, contesting, arguing, reasoning his position in that courtroom. So therefore the judge punished him for all that time. The other one took a plea bargain. And the judge made it smooth for the courts, so the courts didn't give them much time. That's why. That's how they roll, Abdullah.
Okay, so Afro Samuri said the problem with Lamont is that he did not go through U.S. immigration to change his status from a U.S. citizen to a Moorish national, so therefore he can still be magistrated as a U.S. citizen.
All right, let me address that. Hold on, let me address that. He's not a U.S. citizen. No one. All right, let me explain, please. None of our people are United States citizens. I'm going to support it. None of our people. You can be listed at. Are you listed as that? Yes, you're not a United States citizen. Where is the? All right. The native people of Hawaii. The native people of Hawaii are not United States citizens. Where's your support, Abdullah? The Queen never signed a treaty. The Queen of Hawaii never signed a treaty. So therefore, it's subjugation. Where is the treaty between the United States and Morocco that has a citizenship clause? How are we citizens of the United States? We are people of a foreign government. Just follow me, y'all. Let's talk international law. Please, just walk with me with international law. We are people of a foreign government in captivity. How does a people of a foreign government in captivity become citizens of a foreign government? So that government and legislation, we're gonna make them citizens. That's called subjugation. Let's talk international law. I don't want to talk United States laws. Please please, y'all, don't throw nothing in the chat. United States anything. Don't throw United States nothing in the chat. We got to talk international laws. The problem is that they're looking at United States laws. They're not pointing to we don't know international law. So all we do is we reference United States laws. United States law. Yeah. See, Abdullah, you don't know what you're talking about. See, about the whole native people of Hawaii. They are citizens because United States Code, United States Codes, Title 8. Title 8, Abdullah, of the United States Code says that the native people of Hawaii are citizens. Say it again. You say what? Title 8 of what? Title 8 of what? Is that it? So you say Title 8 of the United States Codes says what about people in Hawaii? hold on. You said Title 8 of the United States Code, United States legislation. You're showing me United States legislation, Title 8, to prove your point that the native people of Hawaii are citizens of the United States. That's not. No, show me a treaty. They're gonna say Abdullah. Man, Abdullah knows international law. Oh, shut.
It's a violation of national law. That's right, it's a violation. What they did.
Abdullah knows international law because he ain't getting caught up with that Title 8 of the United States. He says Abdullah says the Queen never signed a treaty. She never signed a treaty. All right. So Abdullah's also looking at the what 1803 treaty. Abdullah's going to well-settled principles.
Okay, bro.
Abdullah knows international law. He's going to Abdullah using well-settled principles. 1803 treaty, the Louisiana Purchase Treaty, Article 2. Look it up, y'all. Article 2. We got to say Abdullah said anything. Article 2 and Article 3 of the Louisiana Purchase Treaty. Those are the citizenship treaty clauses, articles of the treaty. How did the French subjects in the Louisiana, on our land, on the Louisiana, in the French zone called the Louisiana Territory, become citizens of the United States? Article 2 and Article 3 of the Louisiana Purchase Treaty. That's a well-settled principle. See, this is what when you read cases, y'all, please, y'all, follow me. Please follow me. This is what they do. I've read enough treaty cases and treaties. I said, ooh. I said, Shim is on. I said, ooh. They refer to well-settled principles.
Yeah, norms, that's right.
And norms. That's what I'm doing. Follow me. So you say we're United States citizens. What am I doing? I went to what? Treaties that have citizenship clause. I said, well, where's the treaty? Where's the treaty that we have? Because they cannot draft a legislation to make us citizens. It's called subjugation. Under international law, it's subjugation. We don't know international law. We're looking at United States laws. That's where the problem is. The problem is that we don't know international law. We're looking at United States codes. That's where the problem is.
In other words, what Abdullah said is that Title 9. What title? What's the Title 9?
Title 8 of the United States Code that deal with Hawaii.
That is called annexation. They annex Hawaii out. They write legislature to annex Hawaii out their land. That's against international law. That's a violation of international law. You can't do that. So we got to know when Congress writes something. This is a Supreme Court case. I'm gonna say, Abdullah, look what the Supreme Court say. I want y'all to hear this. It say that anytime Congress enact a bill or an act or a law into law, enact a law, bill, act into law, that bill cannot be in conflict or nothing of the Constitution whatsoever. What you mean, Shim? That a Congress enact a law and said and that French citizens of France is citizens of the United States. What is that? That's an act of, that's a violation of international law. That's an act of war. That's called apartheid. That's called culture genocide. And it's called the United States France out of all their territory when they do that. If all the citizens of France are called United States citizens, that means France don't have no legal sovereignty anymore, become insolvent. So what France have to do, France have to protest and contest that and stand against it. Even it's an act of war. So what they would do, go before the Hague and ask the United States, what give you the lawful authority? But the courts, France is going to say that our government at no time into any treaty, into any declaration of citizenship, allow the United States government to legislate our citizens as their citizens. So that comes before the court, evidence, legal evidence, norms. You got to have evidence. So when you say that like for instance, Indians. Why how do Europeans get what you call land rights? I mean, territorial rights over land ownership by going before France, Great Britain, and England. Call the Moors Indian and Negro. By doing that, that allowed them to annex the Moors out of their land now, because they don't have to recognize them as being Moors protected by treaty. These are the people. These are the offspring or children or descendants of the people we signed treaties with. So therefore, by giving us a conquest name, therefore they're removing our treaty rights under Treaty Granada in the 1400s, on all the 1600 treaties, 1500 treaties that were signed. For all these treaties, when Indian came in, the European powers were not obligated anymore to respect the Moors, because he said we're not dealing with Moors, we're dealing with savages. What you mean? River people, Sandu, river, a lake, river. These are a number of river people. What you mean? People come through on a boat, come into a foreign land, go around the water, fish and hunt, and leave. They're not any occupiers of the lands. So, but France also look at us, everybody start calling us an Indian, so we got stripped of our Moors rights. So they get European power to do what? They now get land grabs to deeds, because the Lenape Moors, the other Moors start signing deeds with the Dutch, Great Britain, Spain, all the European, the so-called Indian Moors tribes that are called Indians start giving the large amounts of land, not to treaty and to a deed. Now, how can we argue this? How can we stop this? We have to stop by coming out of capacity as a Moorish government, follow a resolution, go before the World Court, and say that the people that signed these treaties conveying large amount of lands to the United States and the European powers was not in a rightful standing to sign these treaties, because it was a violation of the Moorish treaties, a conflict. What you mean? Then they had to prove that the people that signed the treaties were Indians. So no, they were no such people as listed. These were people that was under conquest to language conquest. What you mean? The name of the people was stripped from them to conquest, to apartheid and genocide, cultural genocide, by renaming these people as Indians when they was not Indians. So like I said, we can't worry about that. What we have to worry about is just one thing. Let's get our government standing so we can protest and file applications with The Hague and challenge us when it happens. That's all it comes down to. Let's stop arguing with each other. Let's stop our petty games, playing games. Our women and children's life is on the line here. Let's stop playing. These people coming now. The next ever pandemic, they're coming for your behind. They're going to snatch you out your house, your children, talk all that stuff. This is my country. What you going to do? Who gonna come and get you when they knock your front teeth out and drag at the house and break your arms? You in the hospital. We work out your coma in the hospital and you're coma. Who gonna protect you? Who will take your woman? Your woman cry, oh, my children. When they take a woman, put your woman in one of these refugee camps, your children, woman say, we gotta stick your children with this germ needle. Just stick your men.
He's talking real talk now. He's talking real talk.
Who gonna step up and say? Who gonna step up on a diplomatic channel and say, wait a minute, you cannot do that. Let me speak to the Minister of Foreign Affairs for France, Spain, and Netherlands. You cannot do that. It's a cultural genocide against the Moors. What you mean? Those people are Moors. They're not what you say they are. They're what we do. We claim political sovereignty over the land. They are people. They're Moors. So we're gonna step up for them. We claim them to be Moors. We're gonna conquest them back into Morocco. That's what we need to be doing. Stop arguing about the penny ante. I will be right on my individual process, right? Get beyond yourself, because you know that when this happened, when you can't go to the gas station and buy the gas on the next pandemic, when you can't go inside a building, go on your job, what you gonna do now? What you gonna do now? What you gonna do? Going to the court. I'm gonna file somebody asking, United States citizen, I'm going to the court. When you go to your country, yeah, you is a United States citizen. Yes, you are. On your own land, you're going to that court, because why? Because you the same one arguing or trying to hinder or building the government. You go to another government and give them all your energy. That's what they want you to do anyway. So we got to stop this mess. Anything else?
Yeah, I have a question. So I'm reading subrogation from the Black's Law Dictionary, revised 4th edition, right? And it says the substitution of one person in the place of another with reference to a lawful claim, demand, or right. But then when you go down further, it says a legal fiction through which a person who, not as a volunteer or in his own wrong, and in absence of outstanding and superior equities, pays debt of another, is substituted to all rights and remedies of the other, and the debt is treated in equity as still existing for his benefit, and the doctrine is broad enough to include every instance in which one party pays the debt for which another is primarily answerable, and which in equity and good conscience should have been discharged by such other. And then
Is
it
that
says
is that subjugation?
subrogation,
No,
S-U-B.
no. I was saying subjugation. SUBJUGATION. Subjugation.
Oh,
In international law, subjugation in international law. SUBJ.
okay. It's the wrong word.
Yeah, wrong word. Yeah, wrong
Okay.
word.
So somebody else said
Mhm.
extraterritorial. I'm trying to read the rest of the comments. The Beys founded the Ottoman Empire. Google the word Bey. Okay.
Well, they used the Bay. Well, no. Let's clear that up. Let's clear it up. No. Let's clear it up.
Oh,
The Bay.
I'll be back.
Bay is a title. That's clear.
You breaking up, Abdullah?
I am.
Okay.
Let me come.
Go ahead. You're clear.
All right. Bay is not a people. Because the way it reads, this way the sentence reads, the Bays found it.
Mm-hmm.
Bay is not a nationality. Because the way it's read is as if Bay is a pedigree, consanguinity, nationality, national origin. It's not. Bay is a government title. Is a Turkish or Moorish provincial governor. It's not a people. It's an office in Ottoman and Moorish government structure. So that's first. We got it. What the word is. That's first. You always have to go there first. So that's being used in an improper sense that the Beys did found it. No, the Beys didn't find nothing because Beys not a people. And I just want to provide clarity with that.
Okay, and then he said, Google the word Bey, and you will see that it's an Ottoman title.
It's also all right. Go to my book, Moors and Masonry, Part 1. You're going to see Bey in the Moorish treaties. You're going to see Bey in Moorish treaties. Just limited. That's all. It's just limited. All right. See what happens? He says Google. See, Google. The problem is that's limited. You're drawing a conclusion from a Google. No, I'm serious, Najma. It's limited. They Google. And then I know everything about it. I Google it. I know everything about it. I mean, I know. I mean, I gotta be more patient. I'm working on it, y'all. Don't beat me up.
Someone said, if we don't have any such representatives at this time, what other alternative measures can be implemented?
that you're going to help us. The alternative measure, the person who's talking, I'm going to talk to the person who's, all right. I'm charging them now. All right. What are you going to do to help? To push
Yeshua.
to push this Shem Malachi Bay plan. Oh, I ain't got time. Well, I got to work. I'm just. I mean, what are we gonna do? But my number is 215 300 5471. You're gonna call Abdullah Bey, and Abdullah Bey gonna put you to work. Once again, my number is 215. They asked me, I'm answering the question. I'm gonna answer the question. 215 300 5471. Don't call me tonight. Don't call me tomorrow because I got to go to Atlanta. And I'm going to put you to work. That's what you're going to do.
There you go, Yeshua. Okay, someone asked, are the Indians...
Question. I can put them away. We got plenty of work to do now. I right, no problem. I can put you to work. I mean, let's get to work. Let's get it cracking now. Let's get it cracking. I don't want to hear I got to do this and I got to catch the bus. And go to the moon. I'm just keeping it real.
Someone said, are the Indians with the casinos sellouts?
Say it again.
What happened? I can't hear.
Can you hear, Abdullah?
I can hear.
Go off and come back on.
Let me go out.
Are the Indians with the casinos sellouts?
No, they're not sellouts. They're just United States citizens under corporate authority of the United States through agreements they signed to the Bureau of Indian Affairs and the Department of Interior. They became property citizens of the United States, wards of the state. So therefore, the United States granted them a license to do a casino, do anything else the other states are doing. They're co-equal to states on that status. They became a part of the union by joining the United States, agreeing to live on a reservation. It's like living on. It's like giving a lease. The United States gave the Indians a lease, so therefore the Indians subrogate themselves by signing these agreements. First thing came through the name, the language. They got subrogated to the language. The next thing come them being educated in their system, a fair training allowed them to give up any other rights they afforded to them. They became incorporated to the United States Union and were given a lease to live on their own land. Our land belongs to them. So they didn't sell out. No, they didn't sell out. They've been subrogated. That's all under conquest. They didn't sell out. They're doing the best thing they can do on the education system they were trained under. That's it. That's not a sellout. That's somebody been indoctrinated and raped. No, they're doing the best thing like a raped woman would do when she get raped so much, she become intimidated and fear. Out of fear, intimidation of a system, the vicious system they put up in, they just give in. They give in every time. Now the man doesn't slap the woman anymore. He come in, she take off her clothes freely and never have it. He sure had to get beat up no more. She's tired of getting beat up. So they got tired of being used. So what they did, they gave into the education system, being taught and trained in that vicious system they got, and philosophy, they just gave in. They didn't sell out. They just been mentally whipped. They've been mentally conquered. They just gave in. And the only way they can operate for their people to receive money as an investment of the United States, uses our land, the resources, the electric, water, and minerals. They pay them back. They pay them back, give them a license, and give them a lease on the land, and give them what you call a new lease. They give the Indians investment money. Yeah, the Indians is getting investment money, hush money, to be quiet. The Indians can't speak like we speak. You know why? Because they've been indoctrinized. They don't know this. Education system they go through, Indians go to their college, not their own. They don't have their own college they create. They go to all these other colleges and come back with all that westernized indoctrination and teach their young ones the same system. So they didn't sell out. This has been captured. That's all. Anything else?
The Empire of Morocco has never approved of the United Nations to operate within the Empire of Morocco in accordance with the Act of Algeciras, 1906, Article 60.
Let me say this. The state of New York is nothing but a standard territory was granted to the Duke of York. the brother of King Charles. The land was taken from the Dutch. It was really called, originally it was called York County. That's the original name right here in Shaker Bexham, Lenahokee, Susquehanna territory, the Moorish territory. The land was really called Lancaster County. That was a land patent given to the Duke of York by his brother. The piece of land that took it from the Dutch, that the Dutch took from our people, the Moors. And what happened is when King Charles gave it to his brother, they expanded when they expanded their charter, company charter. Duke of York allowed a company charter called New York to have a corporation, a company that function with a new charter on Moorish land. Then when that company had what you call employees, commons, British subjects working for that company, the British subjects rose up. Therefore, the crown, when the treaty was signed, the crown allowed that new community of rebels to go back and operate in the form of that company, a corporation called New York. So all these corporations came together, went back to all these colonies, was a corporations, and they formed the United States, which meant with a parent corporation. Now I'm gonna break it down the right way. This is where it supposed to be broken down. I'm going back to bring it up now. So all the Lord proprietors and colony charters, like the American Trust Company, these are number trust companies. The Indian Southern Company, all these trust companies, the United States are operating as a trustee on behalf of these companies, as a corporate trustee fiduciary. Abdullah said it right. So now get back to that question the brother said about the days, and the bays and days of Algiers and the bays of Tunis. See, you have to understand, these two, the days and bays, are part of the Moroccan Empire. There was governors. There were leading governors operating in particular territory, jurisdictional nations called Tunis, Algiers. They are Tripoli. They also signed treaties with the United States because they're considered independent sovereign states inside the Moroccan Empire. But in these treaties they signed, that any dispute arise, the Moors had political jurisdiction. So you cannot cross it over Turkey. You can't put that in Turkey category because these, as you can see, when they sign, they don't say I sign on the authority of the Ottoman Empire or made by read the United States treaty with the Ottoman Empire and read the treaty in the 17th century with the days and bays. Why ain't the Ottoman Empire sending forth his fully decorated officer or a deputy to form that treaty called a day? See, we read these treaties, what we do is we start trying to find a way to justify ourselves, so we start putting stuff there known as this. Read the document for itself. There's nothing that document say by the authority of the Ottoman Empire.
They're not reading the document. They're Googling. They're Googling. They're not reading. The
sister get it. The sister get it. The matriarch right here, she gets it. She see that feminine energy. Your brother gonna wake up. The sister sees this. That feminine energy, the mother sees it. She sees it. That's why she's smiling.
All right, as we wind down, Shem, you weren't on here earlier. We gave homage to Brother Isa.
Yeah, I knew him. Yeah.
And then last but not least, Noble Drew Ali gave you the name Bey to protect you under Ottoman Empire nationality laws. Okay.
It was not his to give. Like, how can, all right, it's not to give.
See, man, we get, this is what I'm saying.
This, you talk about a pre-existing title with embodies pre-existing Moorish sovereignty. It wasn't Drew Ali to give. Like Drew Ali gave us, it's not his to give. It's pre-existing sovereignty. Bey represents a pre-existing Moorish sovereignty and Turkish sovereignty. It ain't Shem to give. Well, Shem gave me Bey. It ain't Shem to give me. I know. See, all right, what happens, y'all, is anytime you analyze anything Drew Ali said, I'm telling you, anytime you analyze anything that Drew Ali writes, they're gonna call me a hater. I already know it. And I'm saying to you, I am not gonna be afraid to, I am not gonna reduce my mind. I'm not gonna lower my mind. I'm not bowing down to nobody's mind. I am going to analyze, and I'm not going to be afraid to analyze. If I am criticized, so be it.
All right, it's 11:11. Ooh, 11:11. The portal is open for 1 minute. Manifest in your mind what you want for 1 minute. That's a portal. It's 11:12 now. But so last but not least, Shem. Let me see. Are you there, Shem? So
yes, I am.
I don't know if you remember, maybe 3 weeks ago, I was speaking about the Muslim sister here who went missing. Right? She went missing. She was a middle school science teacher in Greenbelt, Maryland. Abdullah, the real one, somebody said in the chat, with a muscle up and things. But she went missing, and then she was found with her body was dismembered by this guy right here. And he lived in her neighborhood. Okay, she was born in Africa. She was over here. She had children. She had a family. He snatched her up and took her and dismembered her entire body. It is disheartening because this is in our community right here. This is in our community. And then 2 weeks ago, the KKK has marched in Orlando. It's a lot happening right now. So when you're talking about women and protection of women and all these, that's why I'm so, engrossed in this, because it's happening really. It truly is really happening. And we may not know people personally, but women and children in particular, you don't hear a whole lot about the killings and the disappearances and the sex trafficking and all these things. It's really, really, truly happening right now. In Hawaii, they can't even find the school buses with the children that are missing. Where are these children? They can't even find the bodies of the children. Sex trafficking and all kind of things. So when you said that somebody's eventually going to come and take the women and put them in concentration camps, this is all things that have happened in the past before. We have to really, really, really be careful right now. And women, I know people don't like me talking about it, but you have got to learn how to protect yourself. You have to learn how to shoot. It's you have to. I'm saying it. You have to learn how to protect yourself. Right? You got to surprise some of these devils that's coming after you. We're targeted. We're being targeted, and we have to learn how to protect ourselves. We can't sit around and wait for some man to come home from work and we're hiding under the bed. My grandfather is a young age. He was the first man I ever saw shoot a gun, and he was from the country in the South.
Right.
So I'm just saying all that to say to piggyback on what you said about protecting women. So that's all. Yeah. So this devil right here, he's going to get what's coming to him. He's incarcerated right now, and I promise you, somebody's going to get him.
See, what's going on is this right here. See?
Thank you, Gingers. Plus, thank you.
See, what's happening is, for this final thought, the Europeans are still being indoctrinated in their private lodges and their private sororities that they think that we are making them lose their country, their sovereignty. And in fact, they're not taught that their ancestors came up a boat and they the one took us took our sovereignty, that we suffer through their oppression. So when they make it think that, they came over here now for a foreign country, they need to send them back. They were taking your right. Pretty soon you won't have the rights. Well, you never had that unless we gave it to you. So this is all propaganda. See, they want them It's like they want the pawns. They're the pawns. And a Ponzi, they are the pawns. Oh man, come on, man.
What's going on?
Hold on. This
You went out, Shim.
You there? We can't
Dude,
hear you.
yes, they want to take the low class European Albions that brainwash the propaganda that make them think that, hey, these are black Negroes taking your land. You can have no rights. You better build arms. You better kill them and you meet them in our land. See, they're thinking this is their land. See, they don't sit down and read and say, is this really our land? Hold on. Is this really our land? They've been propaganda too. There's a reason why that. Because they can use them when they want to use them. As madmen. They make it to mad dogs, angry against us, as if we took something from them. Now tell them, hey, you know that they are descendants of the original people. Your ancestors and fathers came of a boat. We ransomed your brothers and fathers. You on their land. So because they're not taught, they taught through subjugation and falsehood and conquest that we on their land, taking up their rights, eating their food. We need to go back to our land. So they're thinking that by killing us, they're saving their land. Not knowing this poor innocent soul. I feel sorry for. Let me say I feel sorry for. I feel sorry because when he got the face. Now he may go to jail, and what happened is he may give out 3 black men. They may stomp his man so hard, they may kill his man in like 1 minute, knock him down, stomp him, knock his ghost out of his body in 1 minute.
Sorry for him.
So, hear me out. I feel sorry for the propaganda that he went through that led him to where he at now. Because anytime a man grab a indigenous woman and rape her and mutate her a little bit, cut her up, chop her up, what kind of rage would you have inside you? What she done to you? I can tell you, psychology. You've been taught and brainwashed that she have children, they will step in line, take the rights away from your children. That's what they're thinking. And you look at Nazi, you look at skinhead. You look at neo-Nazi. So only way we're gonna address that is we gotta get a government up and running and put our government out there, our media, our newspaper out there, so the Albions be educated the right way. Because they're not educated right either. They run them crazy with these lies, propaganda. They going crazy.
All right. Closing remarks.
All right. Go to the classes, the Moorish Treaty Protection and Consular Relations, 101 and 201, Moorish Body Politic Formation classes. There's 12. These are the free classes that's on the Moroccan Post Media YouTube page. All right. So just like I said, this concludes the series of do the United States courts have lawful treaty authority to hear Moorish cases. This concludes that. All right, that series. We had 5 classes on that. We had 3 parts and then 2 follow-ups. All right, we'll review.
And also, I got a brother, Moorish brothers that working with me. He got about 5 web apps that he created, where you can have your own zip. You know, the new zip phone will come out. So right now, you can have a zip phone. You can have your own media channel, your own education room. Matter of fact, we created a space for Abdullah right now. So Abdullah can have school classes and all over. He can have maybe like he had over like 1,000 windows teaching and throughout different windows in different parts of the world. It can be France, Canada, anywhere. So he got web apps. You got a phone, a zip phone. You got internet phone. You got your own media phone. You do your own media, your own web-based, anything you want to do. So I got him. He got 5 apps. I'm gonna be the go-through man. I'm gonna give you something to link to. Anybody wants to get involved with that, they can buy the app, the web apps, activate the web app to the web store, and they can affiliate their own media, their own news space, their own school, everything. Do anything.
Okay. Peace to that. Peace to that. All right. We will be back next week. Everybody have a good week. Stay energized. Freedom is yours. And I love everyone. that's in the chat. Abdullah, Shem, thank you. And we will see everybody next week.
Thank you.
Peace and love.
Peace, everyone.